Hi everyone, welcome to this video on screen reading compatibility testing. In this session, we'll continue exploring how screen readers interact with digital content with a special focus on NVDA, basics and hands-on testing. We'll walk through practical examples to help you understand how NVDA interprets web elements and how to ensure accessibility for all users. Thank you for joining us. Let's dive in. This video is part of the Udemy course, Gen AI and Other Software Testing Tools Every QA Should Know. The course also includes many useful tools for effective work as a QA engineer. For more information, please check the description of the video below. As you may remember, in our last session, we discussed how to test for screen reader compatibility. We explored what screen reader compatibility means, reviewed key accessibility standards, and covered the fundamental concepts necessary to get started with this type of testing. This foundation will help us dive deeper into NVDA hands-on testing in today's session. In our previous discussions, we highlighted the different platforms require different screen reader tools. In the upcoming videos, we will focus on one tool for each platform and demonstrate how to use them in practice. On Windows, the most widely used screen readers are JAWS and NVDA. While both tools serve the same purpose of enhancing accessibility, they each have unique features and capabilities. Notably, since NVDA non-visual desktop access is free and open source, it is an excellent choice for anyone using the Windows platform, making it accessible to a broader audience. This cost-effective solution allows companies to implement NVDA without financial constraints, making it accessible for teams of all sizes. Now, let's start from the very beginning by answering the essential question: how do you launch NVDA? Keep in mind that mastering these tools is not just about testing, it's about empowering individuals with disabilities to access the same opportunities as everyone else. To launch NVDA, first, we need to navigate to the official source to download and install it. For that, open your preferred search engine, such as Google, and type in NVDA as your search query. Once the search results are displayed, look for the first link that says Download NVDA. This link is typically the most relevant and will direct you to the official NVDA website. Clicking on this link ensures that you access the most recent and secure version of the software. After clicking the link, you will be taken to the official NVDA website. Here, you can find detailed information about the latest version of the software, including features and system requirements. Look for the prominent Download button on the page and click it to initiate the download process. Once the installation file has been downloaded, navigate to your designated download folder or the location where the file is saved. Double-click the installation file to launch it. Follow the on-screen instructions carefully to complete the installation process. Once NVDA is installed, it will automatically launch, and you will hear the corresponding voice greeting you. This immediate activation ensures that you can start using the tool right away. After the installation is complete, you will also see the NVDA icon appear in your system tray, indicating that the screen reader is ready for use. With NVDA launched, you are now ready to utilize its features for your accessibility testing needs. So, let's move forward and learn how to test with NVDA. This tool consists of multiple settings and adjustments that you can make to enhance accessibility. In this video, we will not focus on all the settings. However, let's take a look at the basic configurations that will be particularly helpful for our testing purposes. Navigate to the system tray and look for the NVDA icon. Right-click on it to open the context menu and then select Preferences or Settings from the list. This action will take you to the NVDA Preferences window, where you can adjust various settings to customize the screen reader according to your needs. For now, let's focus on adjusting a few settings, particularly in the Vision section. Here, you will find the visual highlight options, which allow you to enable visual cues that can enhance your navigation experience while using NVDA. Let's enable the visual highlight option to see its functionality in action. Make sure to check the checkbox to activate the visual highlight feature for all options: System Focus, Navigator Object, and More Cursor. Don't forget to click Apply to save the settings before exiting the Preferences window. Now, let's take a look at how the visual highlight feature functions in action on our website, testing101.net. By enabling this option, we can enhance our navigation experience and better understand how NVDA interacts with the web elements on the page. As you can see, in NVDA, different highlight colors are used to provide visual feedback for screen reader users who may also rely on sight. These highlights indicate how NVDA is interacting with the interface. Let's consider what each color means. The blue highlight represents the NVDA system focus. This highlight follows the currently focused element, which corresponds to the element that would be focused if you were using the keyboard. The blue highlight is essential for tracking which element NVDA is actively interacting with, allowing users to understand where they are within the interface. One of the most commonly used keyboard shortcuts to switch between system focus is the Tab key, which moves to the next interactive element. To move to the previous interactive element, you can use Shift plus Tab. You are already familiar with these keyboard shortcuts as we discussed them in previous lectures. For example, if our system focus is on the Testing 101 navigation tab and you press Tab, NVDA will highlight the next element in blue and announce that the next element in focus is the Eyes2QB tab. Let's move on to the second highlight, which is the red highlight. The red highlight signifies NVDA's Browse Mode cursor. Browse Mode is utilized in web browsers and certain applications where NVDA reads content like a document rather than focusing on individual interactive elements. In NVDA, there are many keyboard shortcuts that you can use for navigation on the page, allowing for a more efficient and seamless experience. Specifically, to switch between cursor modes, you can use D to navigate to the next landmark and Shift plus D to navigate to the previous landmark. Landmarks are defined regions within a web page, such as navigation menus or content areas, which helps users quickly identify and jump to significant sections of the page. You can also use K to navigate to the next link and Shift plus K to navigate to the previous link. This feature is particularly useful for users who want to explore hyperlinks on a web page without having to scroll through the entire content manually. Another useful navigation command is H to navigate to the next heading and Shift plus H to navigate to the previous heading. Headings are crucial for organizing content on a web page as they provide structure and context. By using these commands, you can quickly jump between sections of content, allowing for a more efficient review of the information presented. For example, if your focus is on the Eyes2QB tab of the navigation menu, which is highlighted in blue as the system focus, and you press H on the keyboard, the Browse Mode cursor will move to the Manual Software Testing Interview text, which is an H1 heading. This allows you to quickly check the headings on the page, making it easier to navigate and find relevant sections of content. The next highlight is yellow. This highlight indicates the NVDA Review cursor. This feature allows users to inspect text or elements anywhere on the screen, even if those elements are not currently focused. The yellow highlight is particularly useful for reviewing content without altering the actual system focus, enabling users to explore the interface more thoroughly. To switch focus within the content, we typically use the following arrow keys. The up arrow reads the current line, the down arrow moves to and reads the next line, the left arrow moves to and reads the previous character, and the right arrow moves to and reads the next character. For example, if the current yellow highlight is on the letter M of the word manual and you press the right arrow key, the highlight will move one letter to the right, allowing you to read the next character in the text. In addition to moving by characters, you can use Ctrl left arrow to move to and read the previous word and Ctrl plus right arrow to move to and read the next word. These shortcuts enable you to navigate through text more efficiently, allowing for quicker comprehension of the content as you work with NVDA. For example, if the current yellow highlight is on the word manual and you press Ctrl plus right arrow, the highlight will move to the next word, software. This shortcut helps you navigate through text more efficiently by jumping word by word instead of moving letter by letter. Let's explore a few more useful commands that can assist you while testing with NVDA. In particular, you might need to stop or pause speech. To stop speech immediately, simply press Ctrl. This command is especially helpful when you need to quickly silence NVDA without waiting for it to finish reading. If you need to pause or resume NVDA's speech output, you can use the Shift key. Pressing Shift once will pause the speech, and pressing it again will resume reading from where it stopped. This can be especially useful when you need a moment to process the information being read aloud. Let's enable and explore a few more special NVDA commands. These commands can make your testing even more efficient because they provide quick navigation and interaction options. The first step to using special NVDA commands is to enable NVDA as a shortcut on your keyboard. To do this, navigate to the keyboard settings and check the box next to the caps lock key under the selected NVDA modifier key section. Once this option is enabled, you can use the caps lock key on your keyboard as NVDA shortcut. NVDA provides a variety of useful commands to enhance accessibility testing. For example, to quickly open the NVDA menu, you can press NVDA plus N. When you need to exit NVDA, you can do so easily by using the shortcut NVDA plus Q. This allows you to close the screen reader without navigating through the interface manually. If you ever lose track of the current focus while testing, one of the most useful NVDA shortcuts is NVDA plus tab. This command allows you to check which element is currently focused, which is particularly helpful after performing an action like closing a modal window. Now that we have learned the basic commands for using NVDA, it's time to see them in action. In this video, we will focus on how to test forms with NVDA, demonstrating how screen readers interact with form elements and identifying potential accessibility issues. To begin with, we will first test a form that contains accessibility bugs. We will analyze the issues NVDA detects and discuss their impact on usability. After that, we will compare the results with a properly implemented form that follows accessibility best practices. As an example, we will use the form available on our Testing 101 website, specifically under the Automation tab. You can navigate to this form using NVDA and try to identify accessibility issues in practice. Let's take a look at the video demonstration.
Automation collapsed submenu link. Current page. Blank. Clickable skip to main content button. Main landmark clickable test registration form heading level 1. This page was created as part of the Automation Testing with Java for Manual Testers course on Udemy. First name edit first name blank. Last name edit last name blank. Email edit required star email blank. Personal radio button not checked 1 of 2. Business radio button checked 2 of 2. Date and time edit read only blank. Clickable current date 23, 3, 2, 4. Current date 23, 22, 21, 20. Date and time edit read only blank. Blank. Clickable main landmark form builder and payments frame form builder and payments submit button. Alert please fill in required fields. Please fill in required fields. Email edit required please enter a valid email star email blank. Business radio button checked 2 of 2. Date and time edit read only blank. blank. Clickable main landmark form builder and payments frame form builder and payments submit button.
So, this is how the screen reader reads the form on our website. At first glance, everything might seem fine. However, that is not entirely true. Let's focus on the accessibility issues that can be observed while testing the form. The first issue appears immediately upon navigating to the form. NVDA introduces it as page, blank page. This is a critical issue because the page actually contains a form, but NVDA perceives it as blank. This happens when the form or its elements are not correctly labeled, structured, or included within proper landmarks. As a result, users relying on screen readers might assume that there is no content available, making the form inaccessible. Next, NVDA announces Radio Button Menu. Personal radio button not checked 1 out of 2. However, it fails to introduce the context by stating that this is part of the account type radio button group. This lack of context can confuse users, as they do not receive the necessary information to understand what the options represent. Providing clear labels and group names for radio buttons is essential for accessibility, allowing users to make informed choices when interacting with forms. The next issue arises when NVDA announces Date and Time Picker. Date and time read only blank. This occurs despite the fact that a window with the date and time picker options is open. The screen reader should provide users with information about the available options and the current selection, but instead, it indicates that the field is blank. This can create confusion for users who rely on screen readers, as they are unable to understand what date or time options are available for selection. Another issue that you may observe is when NVDA announces Terms and Conditions checkbox blank. This indicates that the checkbox is not properly labeled, preventing the screen reader from conveying essential information to the user. Users relying on NVDA should be informed that they need to check the Terms and Conditions box before proceeding. The lack of a proper label means that users may not understand the purpose of the checkbox, leading to potential confusion and accessibility barriers. And one more issue is that, besides the checkbox itself, NVDA does not introduce an error message for the Terms and Conditions checkbox when it is left unchecked. Instead, it only says blank, providing no indication that the checkbox is required. This lack of feedback can confuse users relying on NVDA, as they won't be aware that they need to check the box to proceed. Now that you are aware of several issues that might occur when testing a form with a screen reader, let's examine a properly implemented form that follows accessibility best practices. In particular, we will review the Create Account page on Apple's website. Navigate to the corresponding account.apple.com account webpage. Let's take a look at the video demonstration.
Create Yours Now. Opens in a new window. Manage your Apple account. Clickable loading. Application clickable. Main first name edit blank. First name error, enter your first name. Last name edit blank. Last name error, enter your last name. Country/region combo box United States collapsed. Expanded. List. United States 233 of 246. Ukraine not selected 230 of 246. Country/region combo box Ukraine collapsed. Help, birthday, button. This information is used to determine the services available for your account. Month combo box month collapsed. Birthday error, enter a valid birthday. Name at example.com edit blank. Email error, enter a valid email address to use as your primary email address. Password edit protected strength 0% password requirements at least 8 characters. At least one number. At least one uppercase letter. At least one lowercase letter. At least one special character. Avoid using a password that you use with other websites or that might be easy for someone else to guess. Phone number edit, phone error, Verify with grouping. Text message radio button checked 1 of 2. Phone call radio button checked 2 of 2. Announcements receive Apple emails and communications including announcements, marketing, recommendations, and updates about Apple products, services and software. Checkbox checked. Apps, music. Type the characters in the image, edit blank. Security challenge error, please enter the characters you see or hear to continue. New code button. Vision impaired button.
As you can see, this form is implemented with better accessibility. Specifically, when we navigate to the account page, NVDA correctly announces Manage your Google account, providing clear context about the page. This is a significant improvement compared to the previous form, where NVDA only introduced blank page, leaving users without any indication of the page's purpose. Next, you may notice that NVDA properly introduces each drop-down, picker, or list element. For example, NVDA announces the country selector list. Country region expanded list United States 243 out of 246, providing clear context and navigation details. In contrast, the previous form only announced date and time blank, failing to provide essential context about the available options, making it difficult for users to understand and interact with the date and time picker. Additionally, in the properly implemented form, NVDA introduces radio button menu, verify with grouping text message, radio button checked 1 out of 2. This ensures users understand that the options belong to a grouped selection. In contrast, the previous form only introduced personal and business radio buttons without indicating that they were part of an account type selection, making it unclear what these options represented. Next, you may notice that the issue with checkboxes does not occur in this form. NVDA properly announces the title, description, and checkbox status, ensuring clarity for users. In contrast, in the previous form, the checkbox was simply introduced as blank, failing to convey any meaningful information about its purpose or state, which could lead to confusion for users relying on screen readers. Finally, in this form, NVDA correctly introduces an error message for each mandatory field. This ensures that users are properly informed about required inputs and can take corrective action. By clearly announcing errors, the form enhances accessibility, allowing screen reader users to complete it without confusion or frustration. In contrast, in the previous form, NVDA did not introduce an error message for the checkbox at all. This omission makes it difficult for users to understand what was missing or required, potentially preventing them from successfully submitting the form. Without proper error feedback, screen reader users might struggle to identify and resolve issues, leading to a poor user experience. Thus, we have reviewed the issues and compared them with a proper implementation to highlight how to avoid accessibility problems. Of course, these are just a few examples. There are many more potential issues to consider. You can also explore the table of common screen reader compatibility bugs displayed on the screen for a broader understanding. As you understand, effective accessibility testing requires specialized tools. That's why we've prepared a dedicated lecture on how to test each aspect of accessibility in our Udemy course, Gen AI and other software testing tools every QA should know. In these lectures, we will focus on using the corresponding accessibility tools and demonstrate how to implement this type of testing in practice, ensuring you gain hands-on experience. This course also includes many more useful tools for effective work as a QA engineer. For more information, please check the description below the video. The course is structured around 8 focused lectures, each dedicated to a key aspect of accessibility testing. You can see the full list of topics on the screen, including what is accessibility testing, keyboard navigation and focus order, screen reader compatibility, NVDA Windows, VoiceOver, macOS, VoiceOver on iOS, talkback on Android, and color contrast and visual impairments. Throughout the course, you'll explore key questions like, why does accessibility testing matter? You'll understand how it impacts real users, supports inclusivity, and helps meet legal and business requirements. You'll also learn what the official accessibility standards are, such as WCAG, where to find them, and the key principles: perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust, to guide your testing. And finally, we'll cover what exactly is tested in accessibility, from keyboard navigation and screen reader compatibility to visual contrast and mobile accessibility, giving you a practical foundation for testing across devices and platforms. Each lecture is structured to give you a solid understanding of why the topics matter, how to test it effectively, which tools to use and how, and what common issues are associated with each area. Our goal is to bridge the gap between theory and practice so you can start applying what you've learned right away. Almost every lecture in this course is practical, ensuring that you not only learn the theory, but also see how accessibility is applied in real-world scenarios across different platforms. You'll get hands-on experience in performing accessibility testing on Windows with practical examples that show you how to navigate common issues and use the right tools. You'll also learn how to deal with accessibility on macOS, covering platform-specific features and tools for effective testing on Apple devices, including how to use VoiceOver as well as basic macOS navigation techniques to ensure comprehensive accessibility testing. Additionally, we'll guide you through accessibility testing on iOS and Android devices, helping you understand how to apply accessibility practices on mobile platforms, including testing with screen readers and touch gestures. For every major topic, we've selected specific tools and platforms to explore in detail. This approach ensures that you gain hands-on experience with the most widely used tools in accessibility testing, allowing you to apply your knowledge directly in real-world scenarios. We will also show you the expected behavior for each particular accessibility feature, so you can clearly understand how proper accessibility looks like in practice. To guide our testing and recommendations, we'll rely on WCAG standards as the source of truth, ensuring alignment with internationally recognized guidelines for web accessibility. What also makes this course unique is that we include video demonstrations of common accessibility bugs. You'll see real web pages with accessibility problems and then compare them with improved versions that follow best practices. This comparison helps you visually understand the impact of poor design choices. The tools and techniques covered span desktop, Windows and macOS, mobile iOS and Android, and web platforms, including browsers like Chrome and Safari. Whether you're testing with a screen reader, keyboard navigation, or color contrast analyzer, we show you exactly how it's done. Are you ready to explore a new and meaningful area of testing? Then this course is for you. Gain practical skills, boost your testing expertise, and become a champion of digital inclusivity. Enroll now and let's dive in. Thank you for watching this introduction, and welcome to the journey of accessibility testing.